यहाँ तो हम कंप्लीटली उसी पे हैं।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम एवरीवन। Hello, Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum Assalam.
I guess we are early.
I think the meeting was supposed to be started at 1:30.
Assalamu alaikum to everyone.
Walaikum Assalam.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. How are you? Assalamu alaikum, DTM Jahangir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Wa alaikum salam. Perfectly all right. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Okay. We're just waiting for. So again, I'm okay. Assalamu alaikum, Toastmaster Imran. How are you doing?
I'm good. What about you? And assalamu alaikum everyone.
Walaikum Assalam.
Okay. We are just waiting for a few people to join, and then we will start, inshallah. Okay, we have 6 participants, and just let me open the agenda and then we can start.
Sure.
Can anyone share the objectives of Toastmasters Syria, who's delivering a speech today? I'm supposed to be her evaluator, but I have no idea what objectives she's having for her speech today.
Sorry, DTM Jahangir, can you come again? Can you be a little
I
louder?
was saying that I've been asked by Toastmaster Sabah to be an evaluator
Okay,
of
fair enough.
Toastmaster Syria, but I don't know her objectives.
Sorry, Toastmaster, who will you evaluate?
Saliha, I guess.
Okay,
Speaker
fair
number
enough.
Sorry, huh?
Fair enough. I'll make this announcement in the beginning, and they will share the evaluation sheet. Don't worry about it.
Please, thank you.
No worries. So meanwhile, while people are joining, I would like first of all, DTM Atif, can you introduce yourself to those who may not know you? There are quite a few because many of storytellers are new Toastmasters members. And after that, I'd like DTM Jahangir to introduce himself. Atif Saab, please.
Thank you very much. I hope I am audible and visible to you all.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Thank you very much once again. And I am Atif Irfan Sheikh, a member of Lahore Toastmasters Club, Ravi Toastmasters Club, Banu Mukhtar Toastmasters Club, Pakistan Stammering Foundation Toastmasters Club. I'm also serving as the area director, A3. And now I am here with you to meet you all guys, because I have heard a lot about this new club and I have been seeing the posts on Facebook, and I was always wishing to join a meeting, but unfortunately the schedules were quite alike. On one place, there was a meeting of Storytellers Toastmasters Club, while on the other, there was Pakistan Stammering Foundation Toastmasters Club. But today, the schedule is a bit changed, so I got the opportunity and I am in front of us. Thank you very much.
We're so grateful, DTM Atif, for you to join. And what you deliberately did not add was that you are Pakistan's first double DTM. He did his first DTM in the old curriculum, which I count as the real DTM, and the second DTM in Pathways. Again, amazing achievement. And what is inspiring to me personally is that Atif Saab is, mashallah, area director, and he's heading so many clubs, and yet he still finds the time to deliver speeches and projects and complete his educational targets. So unlike a lot of senior Toastmasters that I know, he hasn't given up on the hunger to deliver speeches, and that's something amazing to see and get inspired by. Secondly, okay, so I'll now ask DTM Jahangir, please introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is DTM Jahangir Khan. I'm from Kingdom of Bahrain, a small, tiny island in the Gulf. This is my second time joining the Storyteller Toastmasters Club. It's my pleasure. Let's talk about the Toastmaster Club, DTM Atif, right? He said he's a member of 6-7 clubs. Unlike him, I'm a member of only one club. That is my home club, Bahrain Elite Speakers Toastmasters Club, which is called BEST acronym. So that's the name of the club. We are a club of youth. That was the idea when I formed this club, and we have been enjoying our time in the young age. At the same time, I'm a current Division C director, and today I wouldn't say asked, I've been given an assignment because Toastmaster, what's her name, Sabah, she asked me, are you attending today's meeting? I'm like, yes. She's like, you are an evaluator. I'm like, thank you. So I've been given the evaluation of Toastmaster Swaleha, and it's my pleasure to be here once again. Thank you so much, and back to you.
Thank you so much, DTM Jahangir. I'd like Toastmaster Imran Arai to introduce himself, because he's our newest member and not many people may know him. So Toastmaster Imran, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Imran. I work, basically I was ex-colleague of Mr. Tala, and he introduced us to Toastmaster in our factory. And later on, I realized that there is another group working in Karachi, so that's why I joined it. I'm basically master's in textile management from NED University, and currently working as senior manager quality assurance at Al Karam Textile Mills. Apart from it, I'm also a professional networker that's bring closer to Toastmaster, and I really appreciated the public speaking and the leadership skill which is being imparted by the Toastmaster platform. Hello.
Tala, you are on mute.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much for that. So our VP Education and VP PR have also joined the meeting, and I will take the liberty of just kicking off the session formally as the presiding officer, and then I'll hand over the charge to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Sabah. And so, first of all, welcome everyone. Amazing to see you here. It's Ramadan and it's 1:42 p.m. on a Sunday. It's nothing less than a miracle that we are having a Toastmasters meeting, and mashallah, such a well-attended Toastmasters meeting. Hats off to all of you. And so for those of you who don't know, Toastmasters is an almost 100-year-old institution, and it runs Toastmasters clubs around the world. The major job description of a Toastmasters club is to improve the communication and leadership skills of its attendees. In Pakistan, we have around 27 Toastmasters clubs, and worldwide we have more than 17,000. So we have already had guest introductions. So we will move on now to our formal session. But before that, I'd like to make two announcements. Number one is that those who are speaking today, if you haven't already shared your evaluation sheets, please share them with our VP Education so she can pass them on to the respective evaluators, number one. And number two, I am extremely excited to announce that we have qualified for the Distinguished Club designation in by Toastmasters International, and again, it is very inspiring to have DTM Atif Irfan Sheikh here. Why? Because he founded a club, Ravi Toastmasters Club, and that club has qualified for President's Distinguished within a few short months. So we haven't reached quite that level, but we have qualified as a distinguished club, and we have 1.5 months to reach further, like President's Distinguished, who knows. But given the fact that we started our proper meetings in February 2019, this is an amazing achievement, and sorry, February 2020. So that's an achievement of roughly 2.5 to 3 months, and that's a testament to the dedication of the members. So I thank all of you, and I couldn't be prouder, because not only this is an honor for the club, but this is an honor for the district as well, because one by one we are inching towards being a distinguished district worldwide. And Storytellers made their mark by adding to the paid clubs total and adding to the distinguished clubs total and adding to the renewals total. So I couldn't have been prouder. For those of you who don't know, previously this club started its life in Al-Karam Textiles, but due to the organization's unwillingness to host this club, it could not continue there. And then it was relaunched this year only as a community club, and it was rebranded, renamed, everything. So except for the charter part, it's for all intents and purposes a brand new club. And I cannot thank enough two individuals who have been with us in this journey from day one. One is Toastmaster Imran Rana, President of Karachi Toastmasters Club, and one is Toastmaster Rusa Kawal, VP Education of Karachi Toastmasters Club. You guys can imagine that these two hold ExCom positions at KTC and how busy they would have been. But you have been witness, all the members of this club have been witness that they have always found the time to attend this club's meetings and to contribute to the meetings. So I couldn't be more grateful to you. I couldn't be more grateful to all our members, and that's not a cliche, because you make sure that you attend every meeting, you contribute to every meeting. And yes, we are few at this point in time. We are only 9 or 10, but all of us attend the meeting with full zeal and fervor. And I couldn't have asked for a better body of members, as well as the executive committee, which includes Toastmaster Sabah, Toastmaster Soleha, and our Toastmaster Fahad, Toastmaster Farooq, and Toastmaster Jahazeb. So amazing job, everyone. And this is an amazing start that we could have hoped for. With that, I hand over the charge now to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Sabah. Please put your hands together.
A very good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Welcome to our second virtual meeting. Now, moving towards our role players, I would like to ask, First of all, I would like to explain all the three segments of our meeting. First segment is prepared speech segment, in which our prepared speakers deliver their projects, and their respective evaluator evaluates them. And the second segment is of table topic session. Table topic session, table topic masters calls the guest or Toastmasters, and he or she gives you the topic, and you have to speak on that you have to speak on that topic. Basically, the table topic session improves your mental agility and improves your brainstorming. It helps in brainstorming and it makes you able to speak on your feet. And then after that, we have evaluation session. In the evaluation session, the evaluator, we have general evaluate. The general evaluator, he evaluates the whole meeting from start to end, and then we have evaluators for the prepared speakers, and the third evaluation is of table topic session. In the table topic evaluation, the table topic evaluator evaluates the whole table topic session. Now, moving forward to the role plays. So first role is going to be fulfilled by Toastmaster Jahadev. Toastmaster Jahadev. He is going to fulfill the role of grammarian. So I would like to ask Toastmaster Jahadev, please explain your role for today's meeting.
Okay, fellow Toastmasters, good afternoon. I'm going to be grammarian today, and I'm going to check or analyze the grammar being used by all the speakers today, and I'll be using the good usage and not so good usage of grammar, and I'll be compiling the assessment and putting forward in the end. Over to you. Can you hear me all?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you.
Yes, we can.
Now moving towards the next role play, which is word master, and this role is going to be fulfilled by Toastmaster Imran Rana.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I'm the word master, and today's word is perseverance. It's a noun meaning continue effort to do something or achieve something despite difficulties, even though it is difficult. For example, his perseverance was rewarded after many rejections. He finally got the position. Second example, perseverance is required to perfect just about any skills. So I request everyone to use the word of the day as many times as you can in your prepared speeches and in table topics or in any role. And I will note down how many words have been spoken by the speakers. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Sabha, we can't hear you.
Anyone would like to participate to use this word in the sentence? Hello?
I already gave the example.
If anyone else like to participate to use this word in the sentence, to give an example of this word.
I think Toastmaster Imran, if you
Let me repeat the sentence. His perseverance was rewarded after many rejections. He finally got the position. That was the first sentence. And second sentence is, perseverance is required to perfect just about any skills. And meanings of perseverance is continue efforts to do something or achieve something despite difficulties, even though it is difficult. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Okay, thank you. I hope you get this word. Now moving toward the next role play, and that's role is of listener. I would like to ask Toastmaster Rusa Kamal, please kindly elaborate this role.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sabha. I will be performing the role of the listener, or with the super grammarian as they call it sometimes. My role will be a listening test, which will be at the end of the session. And I've been doing this so many times and started enjoying it. So I will be picking out some words or sentences or phrases from the speeches, from prepared speeches, from the table topics, and I will be noting them down. And you guys have to listen to the whole session very, very carefully. At the end of the meeting, I'll be calling those or reading those phrases and words out, and you will have to guess who said what. And the person who says it has to keep quiet. That's the fun part. Over to you, Toastmaster sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rusa Kamal. Now, the role of timer is going to be fulfilled by Toastmaster Zubair. I would like to ask Toastmaster Zubair, please kindly elaborate your role.
Assalamu alaikum, fellow Toastmasters. Good afternoon. And I'll be playing the role of the timer today. And the timing of the prepared speeches is of total 7 minutes. On 5 minutes, I'll be sharing the green card with you guys. I'll be sharing yellow card at 6 minutes and red card at 7 minutes. And for the table topics speakers, the total time is of 2 minutes. I'll be sharing the green card at 1 minute, yellow card at 1.5 minutes, and red card at 2 minutes. And the evaluation part, like prepared speech evaluation, is of 3 minutes. I'll be sharing the green card at 2 minutes, yellow card at 2.5 minutes, and red card at 3 minutes. The table topic evaluation parts is like the total time of the evaluation is 6 minutes. I'll be sharing the green card at 4 minutes, yellow card at 5 minutes, and red card at 6 minutes. The general evaluator report will be of total 10 minutes. I'll be sharing the green card at 8 minutes, yellow card at 9 minutes, and red card at 10 minutes. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Zubair. Now moving towards the next role play, which is of our counter, and this role is going to be fulfilled by Toastmaster Imran Rana. Kindly, I would like to ask Toastmaster Imran Rana, kindly elaborate your role.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day. Our counter's role is more like when you're driving a car on highway, there will be no speed breaker and you enjoy your ride. And when you drive the car in Karachi cities where you find speed breakers and other barriers, so it's more, our counter is more like that. You are just completing your sentence by using filler words. Filler words like repetitive words like and so. So my role is to count all those filler words and repetitive words, and in the end, I'll give my report. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Imran Rana. Now moving towards the next role, which is of vote counter, and this role is going to be fulfilled by Toastmaster Farooq Umar. I would like to ask Toastmaster Farooq Umar, kindly elaborate about your role.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Welcome.
Good evening. I would be playing the role of table topic master today. The theme I've selected for today is with the relevance of the month of Ramadan. So the theme is Ramadan. And I would be covering different topics related to this theme. Quite interesting topics, hopefully. So we would be exploring and discussing different topics related to this month, remembering that this month is actually, the purpose of this month is the purification. So the purification of hearts and souls is a core purpose of this month. So we would be discussing different topics related to this month. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Farooq Umar. Now moving towards the prepared speeches session. As all the role plays.
Excuse me, Toastmaster Sabha, sorry. I'd like to abuse my privileges here as the presiding officer and interrupt you for a bit. Remember, we talked about having a mystery speaker today. So would you like to know who that is?
Yes. Yes, yes.
So that was the second surprise. I am extremely delighted and honored to welcome DTM Zainul Abidin all the way from Ireland, who will be delivering his contest speech today. And
Poland.
yeah, so DTM Zainul Abidin, can you please introduce yourself to our club?
Hey, thank you, Talha. Thank you for inviting me. Let me turn on my video. Sorry. All right. Yeah, I'm joining from Ireland in Dublin here, where I'm living for the last 1 year. I've been Toastmaster for almost 4 years at this point, where I used to live in Poland before this, and I was a Toastmaster where it started all of this. I've been to a few Toastmaster clubs in Pakistan, but only in Islamabad because that's where my parents live. I have never been to a club in Karachi, so looking forward to this meeting, and thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much, DTM. Then it is an honor and a pleasure to have you. And Toastmaster Sabha, please, now you can continue. And sorry for that.
No, it's fine. We now finally that mystery is open. Thank you, Toastmaster DTM Talha. Now moving towards the first prepared speaker. She is Toastmaster Asma. Let me introduce herself. Let me introduce her. Yeah, I forgot one thing. Ramadan Kareem, everyone. Ramadan Mubarak, all fellow Toastmasters. I am the evaluator. So Toastmaster Asma, she is our new member, and she is a chartered accountant working with a national pharmaceutical distribution company, and she's a very brilliant speaker, and I see a champion in her. And her evaluator is Toastmaster Saleha. So I would like to request Toastmaster Saleha, please elaborate her the purpose of her speech. A very good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. So Toastmaster Asma is project 2 from level 1, and I'll be giving her feedback. So she could be the objective or competency of her project is to receive feedback that could be applied to her second speech. And the topic of her speech is learning from children. Learning from children. Over to you, Toastmaster Asma.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you, Sabha, for a beautiful introduction. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The topic of my presentation is about learning from children. Why I chose this topic is that because I feel that learning is a continuous process, whether we are young or old, whether this is the process that continues from our cradle to the grave. So I had some certain learnings from some small children. So I thought that I wanted to share with all of you. Here's my PPT. I hope you're all able to see it. I made it colorful so that it's just in line with my topic. Anyone who stops learning, whether old, whether at 20 or 80, by Henry Ford. Okay, the concept of revolving chair. Actually, how it happened that I first found out why I'm learning from a small child. I happen to have a niece who's 5 years old, and she is, all the time with us. All those, she's quite a bundle of joy for the whole family, and she's all the time excited and things like that. So once it happened that she came to my office, and when she entered, she asked me where I sit. So I just pointed out, okay, this is my desk. This is where Sally sits. So, instantly, she just jumped onto the chair and she started to spin around, and she was so excited, and she was just like saying, "Wow, swing, swing, swing!" She was just like yelling like anything. So for the very first time, I realized that, oh my God, this is the chair where I sit 5 days a week and 52 weeks in a year. And I never realized that this chair has some fun element in it. I mean, all the time I'm sitting there doing my work, taking all the stress, all the burdens of my position and my responsibilities. I never realized that, okay, this chair has some other perspective. It has some fun aspect as well. So just that was the first time when I realized that, okay, she's not it's the other way around as well. We are also learning from her. So my learnings from her are as under. Right, being excited. I find that children are, they're all the time excited about anything new, anything that is not monotonous, but anything that small little things, maybe some guests coming in, maybe father entering the house, maybe some new game, some old game, some new book, anything, any new good food, and they're just happy. They express themselves. They're excited about themselves. I feel that as we just grow older, we stop having that excitement of everything new that comes up. Probably we don't even feel excited when that about anything new project. But to be young, I think that this is one of the key elements, that is to find that excitement and the fun part. Saying that finding the element of fun. The children always, they're just jiggle around there. Even if, you give them a tissue box, for example, they would just find a fun element in it, and, they would just open up the whole of the tissue box. And so when we just start getting older, probably we just stop finding that element of fun, that happiness, that we are doing something, and that would give us the motivation and the perseverance to be even better, to accomplish further. So I think that one of the elements of being young is to find that fun element in our works, in our daily routines, in our tasks. Okay, one thing more. They do not find, they're not worried about trying new things. The thing is that being old, when we start getting older, probably we just stop taking risks. We just stop trying new things. But to a certain extent, I think that taking risks is better. Probably at times we would regret not accepting a job that we were so scared of, or we thought that we had just limited our minds, that probably we will not be able to do that. So probably, there are certain things that we just hinder ourselves. We limit ourselves, because we always have this fear instilled in ourselves that trying new thing might just adversely affect us. So this is one thing that we probably all learn from our children. And of course, valuing our loved ones. Children they do take our time to be with their loved ones, to play with them, to be happy, to to find that beautiful love that is, we always miss in our lives. So valuing love is something that as we get older, probably we just miss this thing in our life. Furthermore, at times we see that, we express ourselves thinking whenever there is some new ideas or certain things or certain opinions, probably we just do not express ourselves because the limiting factor in our mind is that maybe people will make fun of us. This can be taken in maybe opinions, maybe expressing our feelings or whatever. If, for instance, if
Green, that's green.
Sorry.
Green, that's a green signal. Okay.
Okay. So what we really miss in life is that expressing. We stop. We fear and we do not express ourselves sincerely. The main reason, of course, is that we just worry about what others will think. So this is a limiting factor, limiting belief that children do not have. And probably this is one of the reasons why we are all the time limited by our thoughts. And of course, children are being curious and they do not hesitate in asking. The learning curve stops when we stop asking. I would end up my slide with there is nothing more contagious than laughing young children. Laughter of young children, it doesn't have to matter what they are laughing about. And of course, you're never too old to become young. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster. And that from Toastmaster Jahaziv. Let me introduce him. He completed his education in textile management, and he's working at Elfram Textile Mills. And he recently won our club contest. So I would like to ask his respective evaluator to please stand up and elaborate about his project purpose. Toastmaster Saad.
Thank you very much. Toastmaster Sabha. So Toastmaster Janzir will be presenting his project 2 of the level 2, which is under is tending your communication style. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn about a different communication style and identify his own style. The speech title is confirmation bias. The speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. Best of luck to you. Over to you.
Thank you, DM Tala. Hello, everyone. I hope I am audible and viewable. All right. So good afternoon, everyone. Actually, when I was preparing this speech 3 weeks ago, it was altogether very strict lockdown. It still is, but it was severe at that time. So I realized few things. On a lighter note, it was a time when we when we were eating and sleeping a lot. So it was impacting somehow on our health issues as well. So I read a topic in a famous author's book, Rolf Dubelli from Switzerland and Germany. So he wrote confirmation bias in his book. So there was an example which was related to our situation at that time. It is like that there is a hypothetical person, Jill. He is concerned of his health and he wants to reduce some weight. So he finds a program on the internet to reduce the weight, to maintain the weight. So in case, and he starts following that program and he checks his weight on a daily basis on the scale. In case the weight gets reduced, he thinks that the program is working fine. He pats himself on his back and he goes along. And in case the weight goes up or weight gets increased, he thinks that it is an exceptional thing. He ignores it and he goes along with it. So Jill is a perfect example of confirmation bias. And confirmation bias is considered to be the mother of all misconceptions. And what is it? It is the tendency to interpret any new information in a way that is aligned with our already held beliefs and thinking strategies or our inner information. Whatever our held beliefs are, we interpret any new information in a way that gets aligned with that. And in case of any opposite information, any information which challenges those beliefs, we disregard those things and ignore. This is called the disconfirming evidence. So we tend to ignore the disconfirming evidences all along our lives. And this is very much in the business world these days. You know, we see a lot of executives, a lot of marketing companies and their teams, when they come up with any new idea or any new product, they just, they just celebrate any new information which comes to their way, which leads to the thinking that this project is going to be a success. And any information which goes opposite, like any disconfirming evidence, they just treat it as an exceptional case and they just ignore it. All along our lives, we have been forced to make beliefs about our lives, about our careers, about our relationships. And most of the times, these beliefs are in assumptions. Even if you think that the people are inherently good, or if you think that people are inherently bad, you would find daily proof of both of those thinkings on a daily basis, thousands of proofs. So in case of any philanthropist or in case of any misanthropist, they would find proofs in the daily lives of those people, but they would ignore any disconfirming evidences which would challenge their beliefs. Same religion and psychology, they provide excellent breeding ground for this confirmation bias. You know, either an atheist or either a believer, they would find proof of like which would contribute to their thinking that they are on the right path. So this is the thing, because they very conveniently ignore all the disconfirming evidences which could challenge their beliefs, their already held beliefs. And economists and astrologers, they work in the same manner. They project their prophecies or theories or forecasts in a very, very vague manner. And these theories are so vague that any smallest event in the world can substantiate their theories. So this is the fallacy in the people's thinking processes, because people think like that. They know and they manipulate their thinking, and they project their agendas, their theories, their prophecies in a manner that is that proves their thinkings. And internet and social media, this is the fertile ground where this bias grows. You know, there are two things. One is our already visited apps or blogs or websites. They represent our values. Like whatever we used to visit websites, we used to visit Facebook, Twitter, and different websites, like different news blogs in order to be updated. So whatever we are favoring, like whatever pages we are visiting frequently, those pages or those resources, they represent our thinking. Whatever we favor and whatever we believe in. And other way, the most important part is that whatever, you know, we need to understand, we very conveniently ignore the fact that whatever website or medium we are visiting today, it is like they are creating a tailor-made content for you, each one of you. So this is very important thing to understand, because this leads us to be landed in the like-minded people's community on the social media, where we live in that particular paradise. If we do not challenge the disconfirming evidences, the disconfirming news, disconfirming information. So in the end, I would like to suggest that whatever beliefs you have, whatever strategies you have in mind, whatever belief you follow, you need to realize whatever underlying disconfirming evidences there are. You need to raise those things, and you need to realize, you need to judge your thinking, and then you need to axe the beliefs which are no longer workable or which are no longer feasible. Axing is not very easy, but it is inevitable. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jahandev. Now moving towards our next speaker. She is very well-known speaker, Toastmaster Saleha. She won many contests from since the last year. She had been a Toastmaster, and she's an undergraduate student of biochemistry, and she's a BPPR of Storytellers Toastmasters Club. So her evaluator is DTM Jahangir. So I would like to ask him to please elaborate about her speech project. DTM Jahangir.
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. So as of now, I haven't received the objectives as I requested in the beginning itself. You have just informed me that she's delivering her icebreaker speech, which is fine, but from which path and what exactly she's doing, I have no idea about it. Can you please share with the evaluator?
Okay, so I would like to call the speakers.
I would like to know which path she is using, please.
She is telling about her speech project. It's engaging humor, level 1.
Okay. Project 1.
Project her icebreaker speech. Now I would like to hand over the charge to the speaker, Toastmaster Saleha.
But before you give, can I please request the speaker to pin the timer, because it's really during that, if the timer interrupts the speaker, I believe the momentum goes. So if the speaker can pin the timer, she would be able to see only the timer screen and she would be fine. Thank you, and best of luck to the speaker.
Yeah, actually, DTM Jahangir, that was actually the plan, and that was followed in the last speech. But in the first speech, the verbal cue had to be given because it's not possible to share the timer screen while another screen is being shared. So that's why there was a verbal cue. Yeah, but this time, and just like the last speech, there will be only visual cues.
Perfect. 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 Thank you.
Okay, my topic speech is thinking out of the box, and it's the icebreaker project from engaging humor. 98, I have listened to a lot of successful entrepreneurs, and do all of you know what they say? Their statements towards being successful and mastering something is summed into one sentence: do what the other 98% aren't doing. It is, if the 98% others would be doing the similar thing, it wouldn't be that harder and you didn't need more smart work to do it. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, a very good afternoon, Ramadan Kareem, and please raise your hands if you have ever done anything out of the box recently. Okay, just think, have you done anything that made your adrenaline rush and you could hear your heart beat so much with the speed? Have you done anything that you were afraid of and you challenged yourself? Well, the last time I did something out of the box was, you see, I'm recently a lot equipped in cooking. And the one thing I do is, when I peel off the onion, my mother has instructed me to put it into the refrigerator for 10 minutes, and later when you slice it off, it won't cause you tears. But Toastmaster Solia, what I do is I peel it off and soak it in one of the glasses from which our whole family used to drink water daily. And what it does, consequently, the glasses have the smell of onion. And my mother says, "You brat, why do you do that when I said you don't do this?" I said, "Mom, no one's gonna teach me how to cook. I know I am Chef Soleha. I can cook. However, some of the food goes too spicy, too salty, and some ones just burn. And some of the food I just wrap and, you know, like unsolved murder cases, right? I just dump them in the dustbin, not letting my mother know that I'm wasting some of our food." However, do you ask yourself, why don't you do something out of the box? Because we are afraid. I was afraid too, that people around me will hate me. I'll be outcasted. I was told this since I was a child, that you will be unacceptable. Don't do that, because you are challenging the average person's mediocre mindsets that is based on years old and generations old beliefs, that they know that they are right, and you know that old things can run out, they could be expired, but yet here we are doing and practicing those old beliefs. Not all of them are outdated, but most of them, yes, they are outdated and they are not so beneficial for us. So what are my top 3? Yesterday I was being nostalgic, and I remembered one of my top 3 out of the box stunts I did. 2 were did in last Ramadan, and one was a month before Ramadan. So in Ramadan, you see, there was a very beautiful dress at a brand, and it was soon going to be it was going to be sold out. In 2 stores, it was already sold out, and I was so frustrated, and I so badly wanted that dress, and my mother wasn't at home, and my younger sister didn't have the guts to come along with me and shop, so I just called the cab. I got into the cab alone at 12 a.m. in the midnight in Ramadan, alone. And I went to the first nearest shop in Hadri, and I checked the outlet. I didn't got the shirt. I was furious. Then I called another Uber guy, and I said, "Will you take me to the Tariq Road Dolmen Mall? I want to go there." And he said, "Yeah, I'm nearby your side." I went there. I bought that article, that shirt I wanted to wear for Eid. I bought it. I came home, and there was my mother, furious. "How dare you to go alone out in the midnight? Where did you get so much guts? I will kill you if you do that another time. You could have got kidnapped, or many dangerous things could have happened to you." It made me a bit, angry for a bit time, but at the end of the day, I had my favorite dress. The second stunt I did was, I was helping a friend from NGO. I had bought 50 to 60 samosas, and he was nearby my home. I went there and I braked my fast on the road. It was a dream come true. And yet there was my mom. You were out in the road, on the streets, opening your breakfast with them. You are not a boy. It is not acceptable for a girl to do such things. I didn't mind because all the scoldings went to Sabah, not to me, because I wasn't there. Even my cell phone was switched off. And a month before Ramadan, I rant about the inefficacy of my university's teacher. So what all of this tells me that I am living my life to fullest and I won't have the guilt. But whenever I told my other fellow Toastmasters and my friends from society and university that you need to evolve, otherwise you won't be able to, survive. The world's changing. They would say, you are thinking too fast. We don't need that. Like getting the education system, which can be like can have online teaching system in the normal days, not only the pandemic days, or having all the shops can have an e-commerce extra website in the normal days, not the pandemic days, because there's been many case studies about it. But yet here we are sitting here and we are doing nothing. So my advice to you all of my fellow Toastmasters, please do something out of the box to make your survival better. Adapt the new things. Otherwise, it will be very hard. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now moving towards the next speaker. Thank you, Toastmaster Saleha, for a wonderful speech, full of energy. I think she ate something special in Sahur, so she is more full of energy more. Now moving towards the next speaker. He is mystery speaker. He is Toastmaster Zainul Abidin. His evaluator is Now, I would like to ask his evaluator, please explain the competencies of his project, DTM Talha.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Saleha. Our speaker is two-time distinguished Toastmaster Zainul Abidin. And I have a few requests as part of his project. First of all, this will be, inshallah, his contest speech. And I want everyone to fill out a form that I've sent the link to on our WhatsApp group. And I'm also sharing it here in the Zoom chat window, because that's what DTM Zain has requested us to fill out this form, because he wants as much feedback as he can get. And it's very courageous of him. I salute him for that. And so since it's a contest speech, it can best be described in the terms of being the second project in Pathways, which is evaluation and feedback, 5 to 7 minutes. It has to be a speech on any topic. It just has to have certain expectations regarding the structure of the speech. It has to have a beginning, middle, and end. And it has to have all the usual Toastmasters qualities of body language, eye contact, voice modulation. And for those of you who have seen the International Speech Contest ballot, you will find that many of these similar qualities are also expected there. So I will be evaluating the project on the contest ballot, and I'll also try to evaluate it on the evaluation and feedback form. And meanwhile, all of you are requested to click on this link, either in your WhatsApp or on the Zoom window, and try to give your feedback on this speech. So is that right by you, DTM Zain?
Yep, that's great.
Okay. So let's put our hands together for our friend DT and Zen, and there you go.
It was a cold, freezing morning of 1975 in a small village in Pakistan. A young boy of 14 years old was going to his school on an ice-covered path. He was the first one to arrive, except, of course, his teacher, a tall, wise man with a permanent, angry face. The teacher asked the boy, "Boy, have you thought about what you will do once you graduate from school?" "Yes, sir, I want to become a technician." "Why do you want to become a technician?" "Because I know 2 men from my village who are technicians with good jobs." "Why don't you become a doctor?" "Sir, no one from our village has ever become a doctor." The teacher replied with a rare smile on his face, "I believe you will be the first. I believe you will be the first." These few words changed that boy's life. He started to believe in himself. 8 years later, he became the first doctor from his village. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, there is an old saying, a frog living in a well cannot understand the depth of an ocean. Sometimes we are that frog who can't see beyond our imaginary walls. Just like that boy, we let our world get small. But we can make it bigger, and it all starts with believing in ourselves, just like he did. He didn't make just his world bigger, he made the world of everyone around him big as well. He grew up, got married, had 2 kids who grew up believing in themselves, went to the top universities of the country, and are now leading successful careers. One of them is standing right in front of you. I wouldn't be here had my father not believed in himself. Thanks to him, my world became bigger as well. Back in summer of 2012, on a hot day, I was sitting at work, sweating like a guest doing a table topic. My boss, a tall, dark, and not so handsome man, came up to me and said, "Zan, our corporate overlords have decided to close down our office. You have 2 options. Go to Poland or go home." Poland, huh? It's cold there, right? Well, that's all I knew about Poland, that it is cold. I didn't know anything else. My heart whispered, "Let's go on an adventure." A scary voice screamed in my head, "You want to go to Poland? You don't know anything about that country. Language, culture, food, you will live a miserable life." I was confused. I didn't know what to do. And I did the one thing every confused man does. "Dad, can you please help me decide?" My dear son, don't let your fears guide you. Have the courage to follow your heart. Have the courage to follow your heart. And so I did, and it started my 7-year adventure in a country I knew nothing about. I landed there in the middle of winter, and God, it was cold. But my world became bigger because I had the courage to follow my heart. I traveled to over 25 countries, made lifelong friends, and moved from snowy Poland to rainy Ireland without hesitation. I even convinced Sonia, a smart, beautiful, and sometimes scary Russian woman, that this can be a good husband. Now, Sonia comes from cold north of Russia. I come from hot south of Pakistan. We are poles apart. But when we met, the birds sang, sparks flew, and our worlds became bigger. My heart whispered, I want to spend the rest of my life with this woman. A scary voice screamed again. Do you want to marry a Russian now, have you? Have you thought this through? What will your kids play, ice hockey or cricket? What will they celebrate, Christmas or Eid? What will they be, Russian or Pakistani? I didn't know any of that. I didn't think about that. So I asked the one person I knew would understand, Sonia. Zen, do you trust me? Of course I do. Then we have our whole life to figure this out. We will create our own culture, our own celebration. And when we will have kids, they will be both Russian and Pakistanis. And you know what? Let's throw in some Irish as well. Thanks to trust in each other, we haven't made just our worlds bigger. We have made the worlds of everyone around us bigger as well. Having the belief in yourself, the courage to follow your heart and trust in others can make your world bigger as well. Sometimes you're that young boy who just needs to believe in himself to do something that no one around him has ever done before. Sometimes you're that sweaty young man who just needs a bit of courage and some warm clothes to go out and explore the world. And sometimes you're that nervous romantic who just needs to trust in their smarter half. Ladies and gentlemen, we let our fears, our doubts, and our surroundings limit us in our well, but we can jump out of it into the ocean if we believe in ourselves, if we have the courage to follow our heart, and if we have the capability to trust others. We can all make our world bigger. Back to you, Tosma.
I once again urge everyone to please click on the form and fill it for our DTMs end. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DTM, Daniel Abedin. Now moving towards the timer, I would like to ask the timer, is all the speakers are qualified?
Yes, yes. Yeah, every speaker qualified and the speeches.
Okay, so I would like to ask the vote counter to distribute the voting forms in the chat. Vote for the best speaker for prepared speeches.
Mr. Farooq, are you distributing the forms? Voting form?
I would require some time. I think we should proceed now. And with the end of the second session, I would be able to complete this vote counter form. So people could vote both this section and the other section together.
Fair enough. Toastmaster Sabha, please continue. Okay.
Now moving towards the next session. That session is our table topic session. I would like to resume the charge to the table topic master, who is Toastmaster Farooq Umar. Toastmaster Farooq Umar.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so Right. So the topic of today's session is Ramadan, and we would be exploring many interesting topics with our table topic speakers. So I just need a confirmation because I'm acting as a table topic master the very first time. Can I pick any name from the available present people and invite them for table topic?
Yes, call the Toastmaster, any Toastmaster, and then you can call the guests.
Okay, Toastmaster Farooq, I'd like to add here that you can prioritize those people who don't have speaking roles today otherwise, because I also sent you a list, right? And also, whenever you call someone, don't forget to remind them the word of the day.
Okay, okay, perseverance, that's sure. Okay, so moving further, first I would like to share my screen. Let me do it. Share my screen. Okay. Okay, so are you people able to see my screen? Okay, thank you. So moving further, I have 10 different topics available with me, and I would be calling upon 10 different people to talk about these topics. So let's start with our first topic. And for the first topic, I would like to invite TM Fahad Imran to come up and speak on this. The thing I like the most in Ramadan. TM Fahad, the word of the day is perseverance. And please talk on this topic, the thing that I like the most in Ramadan.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
And give me a second so I can turn off my fan. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I would interrupt here slightly. Toastmaster Farooq, if you can, once you've displayed your topic, can you stop sharing the screen, because then our timer will share their screen. Would that be possible?
Is it stopped now?
No, it's still displaying.
Oh, hold on.
You just display it at the start and then stop sharing.
Okay. I'm not getting the. Okay, right. Got it. Stop now?
Yeah, now it's fine. And now, Mr. Timer, you can start sharing your screen. And whenever speaker finishes, you can stop sharing, and Toastmaster Farooq can put up the next topic.
Just let me know once you are ready, so I can start.
You can start now.
What do you, Fahad?
Okay. Hi everyone. Hello Toastmasters and guests. My name is Fahad bin Imran. So in Ramzan, besides offering prayers and Tarawih and Quran Sharif, I love to go outside for grocery, for shopping with my kids. So 3 years ago, an incident occurred with me. It was the Chandra, and which was announced lately by the committee. And we decided, my mother and my wife decided to go for grocery at Dolmen Center, Hyperstar, and it was 11 p.m. So the time was short, and it takes around 45 minutes to reach there from my house. So on the way to Hyperstar, me, my wife, and my mother decided that as short we will be at 12, and we have to buy a lot of things there. So we divided the task among us. So I decided to go for the grocery section because I had a huge list, and my mother decided to go at the crockery section, and my wife decided to go to the meat and dairy section. So when we reached at Hyperstar at 12, there was very limited time. We grabbed the trolley. Each of us had a trolley. We start running on the aisles and grabbing each and everything which was in the list. And there are things which I couldn't, find. So I was kept asking from the attendants there. I can find the porridge, I can find the dates. So they kept helping me. And after 45 minutes, when we reached on the same mark where we started, so me, my mother, and wife, put everything on the trolley, on the same trolley or one trolley, and then we go to the queue and waiting for our turn to reach at the counter. And after 20 minutes of reaching there, when our turn come in, so I came to know my card is not working, right? And that was the first day of Ramadan, and all the banks were off and all the transactions were shut down. So we left our trolley as is in the Hotel Star. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me share my screen again. Okay. So moving to the next. Topic, the second one. The second topic is change in my daily routine. So what does change? What is change in my daily routine in the month of Ramadan? And for this, I would like to call upon TM Zubair Iqbal.
Who will be timing me? Who will be timing in this?
I can time you. I can time you. No worries.
Okay. Change my daily routine. Can I speak now?
Sure. Go
Just
ahead.
a second.
Yeah.
Just give me a second.
Okay, so fellow Toastmaster, Assalamu alaikum, I'm Mohammad Zubair Iqbal. And as the topic says that what is change in my routine in the month of Ramadan. So in previous year, I used to go to Taraweeh prayers every day. And that was the first shock, and that was the first change that I didn't have to go now because of the pandemic situation. So, and the second thing is that I used to go to the office in the normal timing, but the timing was reduced. And right now we only have to do the work from our homes. So that was the second change, and you literally don't know when the timing when the time of the office has ended. So it's very difficult to track it. And thirdly, I didn't used to be at home in the previous months of in the previous years when Ramadan was there. But right now I'm here. Sometimes I help my mother. I help my mother in getting the food cooked, and sometimes I watch. Okay, I do the chores. I do the chores at home as well, And yeah, that was it. So that is the major change that I get in this in the month of Ramadan this year due to the pandemic situation. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Zubair. So moving further, sharing my screen again. And okay. Right. So with the third topic and the third speaker, we move to this. I don't want on my iftar table. The thing I don't want on my iftar table, and I invite TM Urusa to talk about this. The thing I don't want on my iftar table, and the word of the day is perseverance.
Thank you, Toastmaster Farooq, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The thing I don't want on my iftar table, okay, let me confess, I make all the iftar. So I get to decide what I put on the iftar table. And what I don't want is a little less of oily stuff. Because as the temperature and as the is rising now, temperature is literally rising, and it's really hectic to stand and cook and fry things in the kitchen. Imagine standing there and cooking there for a very, very long time. For women, it is really difficult to cook things 2 hours early. So what I don't want on my iftar table is things that I have to cook endlessly. So less fried food, less things, you know, that I have to cook endlessly, and healthy stuff, probably things that are made of fruit, of vegetables, so that, you know, people can stay healthy in the house. Over to you, Toastmaster Farooq.
Thank you very much, TM Urusa. All right, so sharing my screen again. Oh, yeah. Oh. Okay, right. So with the fourth topic, yeah. All right. So for the fourth topic, I invite TM Saad to come up and speak on this one. The thing I hate doing in Ramadan.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests. So the thing which I hate to do in Ramadan is very easy, which is to wake up after I've had a nap after Sari. So because I've actually had a very bad experience with it, and that experience actually haunts me to this day. And that was I had my paper while I was fasting. I didn't sleep for the whole night, and after Sari, I went to bed, and then as my mom woke me up, mom asked, "Don't you have a paper today?" I said, "I do it, but I have time. My eyes wouldn't open, and she asked when when is the paper. I i answered 9 a.m. She said that it's 10 10 right now, and I was like totally blown away. So that's an experience I'll never ever forget. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Saad, for your experience. Quite a bad one. Okay, so moving further with the next topic. Hopefully you would be enjoying with these topics. The fifth topic of today is the thing I love to see on my iftar table. And I invite TM Mirza Wali Beg to come up and speak on this. The thing I love to see on my iftar table.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, so my topic is the thing I love to see on my iftar table. Well, thank you, Table Topic Master, for such a wonderful topic. And we know it's Ramzan, and we are all in this trance that has come over on us. And I love to have so many things in iftar, like literally. And although I can stop once I started. And well, the speciality that my moms make is her mangochi, and that is what I love. And the taste of it, it's like quite spicy, and also, you know, it's fluffy, and I really like to eat it. But then there are also these rolls and samosas. I know you will be feeling your rosas now after I end my speech, but if you should definitely join me on my iftar table, and you will be having fun with it. And there are many things that I personally believe that could change the mood suddenly after a full day of working. Well, right now in these pandemic situations, nobody's working like really. But from the old tired situation, now we have moved on to this really new daily routine. And I literally say we need perseverance and practice to get into these types of situation. Well, last month was like so sleepy. I was feeling so sleepy, and I could not do anything. I was miserably tired. But now suddenly Ramzan has changed the mood. And after seeing so many things in Seri, in Naftari, I just get like, boosted up. So yes, that's all from my experience. Back to you, Table Topic Master. Thank you for the topic.
Thank you very much, Mirza Wali Beg, for your thoughtful sharing of your feelings. And all right, so for the next topic, I'd like to invite TM Asghar Ramzan to talk about managing work and sleep in Ramadan. TM Asghar Ramadan.
Well, thank you, Farooq Omar, Table Topic Master. Well, I think this question is basically not related to me. I have never worked during the Ramadan, so I cannot put the balance in front of you and try to convince you what will be the balance. But I used to work during my student days, and when I entered my working life, I always avoid this month, and I persistently sticking to this plan, and over here I think perseverance is something is a part of my personality. I never worked in Ramzan. I already study, and I would like to stay in my home throughout the month, except getting out. And nowadays, this opportunity is also being snatched from me by the scourge. And what I see among the other people, sometimes I become very impressed when I see people trying to strike a balance between their work. They work 7 to 8 hours in the month of Ramzan, and then also, get their sleep, and they also do the other activities, and they with the passage of time from the first Ramzan to the 30th Ramzan, they gradually fine tune their working hour, sleeping hour, and staying at home time, and they virtually come up with a fine balanced between their working hour and sleeping hour during the month, and they are my hero because I'm still at zero and trying to follow them, but to my utter shame, I haven't started yet due to my perseverance, childhood perseverance. Over to you, Toastmaster, table topic master.
Thank you very much, TM Asghar, for your thoughtful expression, sharing of your routine in Ramadan. For the next topic, just give me a second. Yeah. So moving to our seventh topic of the day, I would like to call upon Rumesa Farhan, TM Rumesa Farhan, to come up and speak on this one. The topic is When I Missed Sehri. When I Missed Sehri. And the topic, word of the day is perseverance. Do we have TM Rumesa Farhan here? I think we don't have. So calling upon the next one from the list, there was a name Chandna. Do we have someone Chandna over here?
No, he has left too.
Oh, okay, no issues. Okay, so next one is TM Atif Sheikh. TM Atif Sheikh.
He has left too. He had to leave too.
No issues. I have more people in the list. TM Imran Arai. By the way, we have 3 Imrans today. So calling upon the first one, TM Imran Arai. I think he is not available at the moment as well. No issues. TM Imran Raza.
I think Imran Arai is here. I'm correct.
Oh, okay.
Imran
Let's
Arai,
see.
are you here? Yeah, he's here.
Okay,
Yeah.
so please, Imran Arai, please come up and speak on the topic When I Missed Sehri.
Imran sir, can you hear us?
I can.
Okay, yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. If possible, please turn on your video.
I rarely remember that I have missed Sari, but once in a life I missed Sari. But in human being we have a hibernation mode. So what I did, I tried to after the first I tried to sleep. The reason being because we every one of us have a fear manager within us. Although medically we can avail the chance without the sari, but it's a fear inside us which we should have to unlock. But what I observed and learned from that experience, that it's very easy to manage without the sari. Not regularly, but once it happened. So I with Braveheart, I experienced that journey, and although it was difficult at the end, but I managed somehow. So that's the reason. And another reason that in the sari I normally take very lighter meal. I mean, I'm not taking any bread or any chapatis. I just have just one sweet dish from the last 25 years. So that's also make me very perseverance. That is also a topic word today. So it's a very preservance if you manage to have a very regular sari diet. So even if you miss it, then you can manage it.
Thank you very much, TM Imran Arai, for your thoughts. Now I would like TM Imran Raza to come up and speak on this topic, which is when I prepared fruit chart the very first time in Ramadan. Do we have Imran Raza here? Team Imran Raza, are you here?
There's no Imran Raza here.
No, I saw his name in the list.
I think we should end this because we have to end the meeting by 3:30. So
okay.
Perhaps.
Okay, right. So should we end it right away, or we could have just one more speaker?
We have journal evaluation too, so I suggest that we should end it right away.
All right. So over to you, TM Sabah.
Ask for the qualification.
Okay, sure. TM Zubair, are all the people who spoke qualified for the evaluation?
You're not audible, Zubair.
Sorry. Sorry. All the topic speakers are qualified in this session.
And since I timed Toastmaster Zubair, he's also qualified.
Okay.
Thank you. Over to you, TM Sabah. TM Tela, I think TM Sabah is not available.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, over to you.
So I would like to ask the timer, are all the speakers are qualified for the voting?
Yes, all the speakers are qualified in the first session as well as in the second session. Yeah.
Thank you, Toastmaster Zubair. Now vote for the best table topic speaker. And I would like to ask Toastmaster Farooq, please kindly distribute the voting ballots forms in the chat so everyone can vote for the best table topic speaker.
Sure, I am doing so. I am sharing the link in the chat. Okay.
Toastmaster Sabah, I think you should continue because meanwhile, while the meeting continues, we can vote.
Now, I would like to resume the charge to the general evaluator, Toastmaster Fahad.
Thank you, Toastmasters today. So, thank you everyone for joining this meeting and playing your role very carefully and you know, today there are, after every meeting we have some, chance of improvement. So I have a couple of points which I have noted down during this meeting. So actually meeting was supposed to be started at 1:30, but it was started at 1:42. So it would be really appreciated if we can join the meeting at time, which was 1:30. And the role players, I think, should meet 15 minutes or 20 minutes before the meeting, so they can decide the roles and checking everything, like how will show the timing cards, or how will everyone play the role and their responsibility.
General evaluator.
Yeah.
Before your evaluation, you need to take reports and you need to ask prepared speech evaluators to evaluate first. Your evaluation will be required at the end.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry, this is the first time I'm playing this role. So thank you, TM Imran. So I think TM Zubair has already mentioned that no one is beside the limit of the timing. So the grammarian, can you please share your report? TM Jazeb.
Yes.
Actually,
So fellow
speech
Toastmasters,
evaluators will, sorry, Toastmaster Fahad,
yes.
Speech evaluators will go first and then the role players will come. So,
Okay.
So that's the order.
Speech
Okay,
evaluators, then table topic evaluators, then the role holders, and last your evaluations.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for correcting me. So
To call the speakers
TM
evaluator.
Yes, the first speech was delivered by TM Asma, and her evaluator was Saliha Khan. Saliha, can you please provide your feedback?
Yes. So the speech by Toastmaster Asma was her project 2 from level 1, and the topic of her speech was learning from children. First of all, Toastmaster Asma, I would like to congratulate you for delivering a speech in such a wonderful and new kind of way. So you started with an example of your daughter doing an action, and you were learning from it. And the way you started was a unique one, because the people were able, the ones that had children were able to relate with it, that yes, somehow one day or another or in their past they had learned something from their children. As children asked questions, the use of presentations were very good, because it was helping the audience to have a lead, that where are you going with your speech. It's more kind of a descriptive way. But I would suggest you to either use your presentation slide as your virtual background, or either you can transfer or convert your presentation into your video slideshow and have it as your virtual video background. That will help you that you are standing, because it won't divert the audience, because at the time they are having your, because we are in a Zoom meeting, and one time they are seeing you in your video and the other time they are watching at your presentation. So it just makes it a bit perplexed. What you can do, that if like I'm having this background, if you use the option of virtual background, it will help you your content that you want to relate your audience with. At the same time, you will be standing in your content. Like if I'm talking about Khaja as a mausoleum, I can have a background picture of it. And yeah, won't be easy, but you need to practice it 1-2 time in your background at your home, and you can utilize that. However, your speech was in monologue, because you were telling what your daughter said and asked you and what you thought of it. However, the expressions were a bit lacking, and the voice modality could be more improved, and hand gestures were better. So looking for more daily speeches from your side. Over to you, general evaluator.
Thank you, TM Saliha. TM Jazib Shah speech was evaluated by TM Saad. TM Saad.
Yeah, actually, yeah, Toastmaster Saad had to leave for another meeting, but he'll record a video evaluation and share it on the club's WhatsApp group. You can move on to.
Okay, noted. Thank you, DTM Tala. Then we DM Salih Khan speech should be evaluated by DTM Jangir Khan.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. But before I proceed, may I please request to know the time taken by the speaker?
Ms. Swala took 6 minutes, 23 seconds.
6 minutes, 23 seconds. Perfect. Okay. Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, dear guest, and my speaker, Toastmaster Swaliha in particular. Good afternoon once again. So, our speaker today, she was delivering her icebreaker speech from the second path which she has chosen, and that is the humorous path. Her speech was really well structured, I must say, that she had covered most of the parts, most of the things which are required for the speech for icebreaker. We got to know about Toastmaster Swaliha a little bit more, and with the stories in the form of how she is at home. A lot of things were shared throughout in her speech. She, as the master of the ceremonies, already mentioned that she has been a champion speaker from the club. She portrayed herself in her speech today once again. All the elements were there and it was very much visible. Now, personally, this is what I do in evaluations, and I believe this is why we are all here in Toastmasters. We want constructive feedbacks in order for us to improve. Now, Toastmaster Swaliha, who has been there for a while, and she is a champion speaker, as I've been informed by the Master of the Ceremonies itself. There are a few recommendations from my side. In my humble opinion, these are the suggestions which I would request the speaker to incorporate going further if she thinks they are fair enough. Now, as the path itself is humorous path, I would have loved if there were more stories and more humor into the speech. Now, Toastmaster Swaliha had humor in her speech, but there was, we say in the public speaking language, that if there is no pause in a humor, if you're cracking or sharing a joke, there is no pause in the statements, you miss the joke. So in her speech, what was happening was she was sharing the stories with her mom, the dialogues with her mom, but the pauses were missing. So in that way, we were not able to catch the funny incident which she lived with her mother. So I would request Toastmaster Swaliha to make sure if she's having a dialogues in her speech, so in order for her dialogues to be delivered properly, for the audience to laugh on them, she needs to give the pauses within the dialogues. Along with that, another thing which I would request Toastmaster Swaliha would be that the voice modulation. Now, she is a high-pitched speaker. This is what I believe. This is the second time I'm listening to her in a meeting. She's a high-pitched speaker. So in order for her to deliver a good speech with the dialogues, she needs to bring her voice down. Because, for example, she was talking to her mom, explaining herself to the mom. She could have been like, "Mom, why don't you understand that I have to be different? I have to do this." "No, Swaliha, you're not a boy." So there should have been a voice variation in the dialogue which she was having. Overall, it was a very good speech. I believe the speaker delivered a well-organized speech. We were able to know her a little bit more, but if she incorporate the suggestions which I have given about the voice modulation in her speech, along with the pauses in her speech, especially in the dialogues, our future projects would be great. Best of luck to her, and back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you so much. Now we had a mystery speaker. So DTM Tala, do you want me to evaluate, or you'll evaluate Zainul Abidin?
No, I'll deliver my evaluation for Zainul Abidin, and then we can move on to the table topics and then the role plays report. So, okay. So DTM Zainul Abidin was delivering a contest speech, and what can I say? I mean, how do you evaluate a DTM, an experienced speaker? Because all the basics are covered. Actually, the basics of voice modulation, the body language, the eye contact, the movement, the gestures. So it won't be much use to dwell on those areas because those are well covered. I will be evaluating both in terms of a journal project, evaluation and feedback one, as well as a contest speech. I'll try my best to cover both areas. First of all, the positives. So your start was very gripping. It started on a cold morning. You were a young boy. Your gestures, your dialogue were amazing. And one particular thing that I found amazing was when you recounted the conversations between yourself and your father, you looked up to him because to convey that you were little and he was tall compared to you. And that was something amazing. I haven't seen that previously. And that gave such a three-dimensional perspective of the relative heights of you and your father at that time, as well as the relationship between you two. So that was beautiful. And that is something that all of us can learn. Secondly, your dialogue was well emulated. You incorporate some very good humor, like a guest during table topics, or God, it was cold, or ice hockey or cricket, and some warm clothes. So these little sprinkles of humor continued throughout your speech, which prevented it from becoming too heavy, too serious, and too self-important. And I think that's something to be admirable. Yes, you have to deliver your message, but you don't have to be heavy-handed about it. You don't have to hammer it on the top of your audience's heads. You can deliver it subtly, lightly, and still it will be appreciated. One more thing that I appreciate about your speech is that how simple it was at its core. And those kind of speeches always work the best at contests, at least in my limited exposure as a Toastmaster. They're easier to grasp by the judges because remember, the judges have just that one chance to listen to your speech. They aren't going to read the text, they aren't going to watch the video. It is that 5 to 7 minutes. And if you bombard them with too many characters, too much data, they perhaps will not connect as well. So your story was simple. It's a simple life story, very touching in terms of being a well-structured speech. The structure was there. It had a good beginning, a solid middle, and a good payoff in the end. And it was kind of unexpected. It turned into a romantic tale, which served as strengthening the story, as well as adding a message of harmony to the speech, which is a beautiful message that people from two different nationalities coming together, two different cultures, two different backgrounds, and yet finding love in each other. So yes, very simple, but very effective. In terms of improvement areas, the place that you were standing in had a little bit of an echo. Maybe in terms of acoustics, you can revisit it. You can do some arrangements so that your voice comes across with much more clarity. And secondly, I felt that a little bit more drama was needed in various parts of your speech, more expressions, more voice modulations. That's all the feedback I can give. Best of luck for your contest. Thank you so much.
Thank you, DTM. Let's move to the table topics evaluation. So the table topic evaluator is TM Arusa Kawal.
Thank you, Toastmaster Fahad. Okay, so let's start with the evaluation. The first can you hear me, Toastmaster? Am I audible?
Yes,
okay.
You are. Yes.
Okay. The first speaker was Toastmaster Fahad. Toastmaster Fahad, you had a very good opening, body, and closing of your paper topic speech. The story that you built up was good, and you added up speed as you went through through your story, which showed that you were very enthusiastic to share. And you stood up and gave the speech, which was very good. So I really could not find any improvement point. So it was a good show. Toastmaster Zubair, you brought in multiple instances of work and changes, but you gave your speech sitting. I think it would have been better, if there was a little bit of change in that. However, your closing was missing, and there was no clear opening to the speech as well. So maybe a little improvement in that area. Toastmaster Saad, I think he's left, but I'll still, since it's being recorded. He smiled when he came on the screen suddenly, so which indicated that he had a very good story to share with us. He had very good facial expression, and his story was really short and well crafted. Toastmaster Wali, samosas and rosas. That was a very good rhyme that he came up with. His facial expression was really good, and apparently his table is the center of his attention. However, your story would have been really good if you had a clear opening and an ending. It would have really added to the beauty of the story. Well done. Toastmaster Asghar, you told us about how you transformed from a person who would work during Ramadan to someone who does not. Very honest sharing, and your speech had the necessary points. However, I think it could have been better structured by a very good speaker that you are. That is the only improvement point that I can come up with. Toastmaster Imran Rain. Hibernation mode. That was a very good word that you came up with. Your speech was very good. Nothing wrong with your speech. However, when you came to talk to people, maybe it would be nice to just say hello, hi, salam alaikum, or anything, so that to address everyone. And you gave some very good advice. So please come up and keep speaking. And was that the last speaker? Toastmaster Imran, right? Over to you, Toastmaster.
I think Toastmaster was Imran was the last one, but I think you missed Toastmaster Asghar, or maybe I missed that.
Okay.
Toastmaster Asghar.
Okay, everyone, I would like to intervene here once again. And since we all know that there is a district event that's due to start in 1 minute, so I'll request everyone to join that particular event. It's a 1-hour event, and then we can reconvene here and finish off the rest of the segments. Okay, everyone?
Okay.
We can reconvene at 4:30. Rejoin this meeting. Meanwhile, I'm sharing the other events link. And everyone, apologies for this interruption, but this is a district event, so we have to attend. And then we will rejoin this meeting afterwards. Just keep on the lookout for WhatsApp, and we'll rejoin and finish off the meeting. Okay, everyone?
Okay.
Toastmaster DTM Talha.
Yeah. Yes.
We can take a group photo and we can end up our meeting here because almost everything is done.
No, but actually the role players have to present the report, and it won't be fair to them if they don't get to do it. So maybe we can reconvene for 10-15 minutes and finish off then. Okay.
Okay.
So everyone, I'm ending this meeting right now. We'll reconvene at 4:30, inshallah, and see you all on the district event.